All right. Welcome back to another day where we are just merely on the main. And we're joined today with my good friend, Casual Samuel. Say hi, Sam.
Hello, class. This is Casual Samuel.
How's it going today?
It's actually going great. I just bought a house. I'm renovating a house, and I'm trying not to suck at Raid Shadow Legends, so it is actually going pretty dang well.
You know, it's there's plenty of resources out there for you to study up on if you're looking to improve on your raid game, So, and we're hoping one of those is today on Merely on the Main.
I'm hoping.
How long have you been?
I'm waiting.
Yeah, how long have you been playing Raid for?
So if I was in public, I would just say I don't play Raid Shadow Legends. That's
accurate.
That's how I'd handle it. I've been playing for about 6 months. I actually came over from RuneScape 3. There was a RuneScape 3 offer on like basically an app store. I think a lot of people have come over from these things. And then I started playing Raid, and I was like, wait a second. This game isn't like just a meme. It is a meme for sure. Like, for sure. But it's actually not just a meme. It's fun. So about 6 months.
Yeah. Cool. And so Sam, can I call you Sam?
If you have to. No, that's fine.
No, okay. Well, Sam here has been making content for Raid recently. So why don't you take a second, shout it out, maybe give me a highlight of what you're good at or what you feel like you're good at.
oh yeah, hell yeah. So I make videos on the Casual Samuel channel. The history of the channel has always been guides. I really enjoy guides. I love to teach. I'm not a teacher by living currently, unlike other people that I know, but historically I have taught for living, and I just really enjoy it. So for me, making things that are accessible to the casual player, hence Casual Samuel, it was casual guides, because it's not about so much the min-max, which I am not even good at sometimes, but about how can I make things that are fun and accessible for just like average Joes, people getting off work and want to kick it playing whatever game. So Raid has been really fun that way. I recently put out a video on why to stop farming dragon for speed boots. Because yeah, the math checks out. You really want to be doing Nightmare Campaign if all you care about is a main stat. That kind of stuff I love. So that's kind of my background.
Little does he know my Arbiter's still rocking common speed boots.
That's legit. So they're fast. It's like wearing New Balance versus Jordans. You can still be fast.
Absolutely. Hey, so tell me about your experience gearing champions, since that's going to be kind of the theme of today.
Right.
How did it come naturally to you? Did you have to watch a bunch of videos? How did it work for you?
I kind of had to watch a bunch of videos. There were some things in Raid that came really naturally, but the bottom row there. So what I didn't realize, and Raid does tell you, but I think most of us don't watch it, is that the bottom row can have has to have specific stats, like for your champs to be good, we'll say. So you really want speed on your boots, and actually the tutorial or the campaign missions have you getting like attack percentage on your boots. So if you play through the tutorial, you're like, attack percent, this must be viable, right? This must be like pretty meta. No. And so gearing for me, it was weeks before I realized I wasn't just unlucky like on the top row, and I wasn't just not rolling like the right stat. Like it was actually weeks, which is maybe a little embarrassing, but it didn't come that easy for me at all.
All right, so knowing that we have both pretty different experience levels on our leveling and gearing out of champions, what I think I'd like to do is just hear tips from each of us. I got a couple written down. I think he's got a couple written down, and let's just do a little back and forth hearing from each other. Why don't you go first?
Oh man, it's a hot seat. It's like Jeopardy right now. I think one of the tips that I picked up not super early on, but that I'm really emphasizing right now, is the appropriate main stats or subsets based on sets. So I've really been trying to build the regen gear on my account for more solo farming content. Regen gear is like sucked. Put like 5,000 energy into trying to get regen probably the last month. And what I realized sort of late in the game, because I probably have sold some good pieces in the past, is that most of the time for my regen builds, I'm probably wanting like HP percent on the chest. This might not be universal, but most of the time I'm wanting to crank up that level of stats on the chest. And so kind of what I've been learning the hard way is it doesn't just matter that I get a percentage stat on the chest. It matters which one. And it's the same on the gloves. It doesn't matter that I'm just getting like a percentage. It's got to be the right one when it comes to pushing for like solo farming. So I've been having to kind of learn that my gear needs are tailoring, I'd say pretty strongly based on who I'm trying to build and what they're doing.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because actually the first thing that I wrote is knowing what stats match what sets or what build. So very, very similar. So like I was panicking. I'm like, I know I have a regen champion somewhere here. And so, yeah, just like understanding that when you are looking to heal by 15% of your health, having a lot of health. So having like a main stat HP is very important. As you can see, it's not that defense isn't good. It's great, but it's just like HP is just a little bit better. You know, or if I'm doing somebody who is doing a lot of damage, I'm sure I can find a champion that does damage here.
Oh man.
Crit rate, we want to pair that with, you know, crit damage, crit rate, and in this situation, HP is how this champion deals damage, but that's not for today.
That's sick.
But,
I actually didn't realize White King. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's an animal. Don't ask me how I get him or how much I had to spend, but because this account is not free to play, but it's not whale territory either.
It's not free to play, but it's free willy. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's probably more like, I don't know, just an occasional every now and then I would buy like Gem Pass or something like that. Okay, you got anything else any other tips that you found helpful throughout your journey?
Yeah, I think for gearing as well, this is going to sound maybe super basic, probably too basic for your list, but really putting my energy in the dungeons when they're on the 2x or 3x that I need. So instead of like actually saving energy, I would say at times where there's really not any dungeon events I need to be doing, there's not like Sand Devil tournament I need to be going on. This kind of thing now is kind of where the account's at, and going, hey, if I am stockpiling gems and energy, let me actually dump them in when there's like a regen bonus or a speed bonus, or like right now, I need to improve my lifesteal for my Kemptum. But there has not been a lifesteal event. And so instead of throwing away thousands and thousands and thousands of energy with no event, I'm going to throw it away when there's an event, but hopefully with slightly better results. And that has actually been helpful for me to show a little more patience, like really wait a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think actually the game doesn't do a half bad job of like guiding you and where to spend your energy at different points in time. One thing I would key in on based on what you said is just like knowing the Doom Tower rotations and the ability to beat that, because like for example, if you want a regen replacement, it's different. The Griffin's a good option for you, or a Savage set, you know, the Dark Phase is good. But then you mentioned Lifesteal. I think it's the next rotation.
It's Dragon, it's Eternal Dragon, I think.
Eternal
That's actually
Dragon,
a reminder.
And this is a common thing. You're going to see this if you ever look up any YouTube video about gearing. They're going to always say, go stats over sets, go stats over sets. Meaning, you know, if I can't complete this set with a lethal set because I don't have the right substats or the regular stats, just go with the things that's the right stats. And I'm actually here to tell you that occasionally they're wrong. There is times and places where the set is actually more important than actually the stats. Not every time. Like you're never just going to go and put, you know, let's go back to this Tomb Drain. You're never just going to go out and put an immortal chess piece with attack percent on this champion, because it just doesn't make any sense. That's not even a piece you would keep. But what you might do is you might keep an HP percent with all bad substats to try to create the set because you need the healing so bad for whatever you're trying to tackle. So big asterisks here that you have to like take it with a little discretion and think through it critically. But there are times and places where the set is extremely important, but you got to be kind of aware of when those are. Hopefully that made sense.
I like that a lot. I've thought about that quite a bit. The community, you probably noticed this, John, it's a weird headspace where at the beginning they say, well, build lifesteal, put everybody in lifesteal, which is true. Actually, it's actually correct. Most of the time, probably put everyone in lifesteal. And then at the exact same time, they go, it's stats over sets. It's stats over sets. And it's like, homie, the community is telling everyone to put people in lifesteal, and you're telling them stats over sets. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Another good example of this, I just rebuilt this champion this morning for Chimera, is 9-piece protection's very good in Chimera right now. Yeah, and so, you know, going through here, up until today, I was rocking an if I can find it.
Such a gross build, actually. I was on a plus 20 on Pithy and Progressive. Did not hit.
Yeah. Maybe it was a different champion. I can't. Oh, no. Maybe it was the amulet. I have crit damage on him for a reason, but there were just like different amulets that, like, if I had to complete a set, I was going to have zero issues putting an attack ring on my Pythian. Like here, again, HP, and I have like HP roll, not bad, but I have double attack. Attack sucks on this. I could easily go through all these rings. I have a million of them, and I could find one that's going to have better stats than that. But the set of getting 9-piece protection is going to be so much more important. So that's a good example of that.
John, what you would say then, like if you get a unique set, then like you have protection or stone skin, or maybe some of the others, even maybe feral, even maybe for example, to just not sell the piece because it has maybe a not great main or good subs. Because like online it's very much like sell stats over sets. You might say keep like a stone skin ring or something, right?
Yeah, I keep literally every single stone skin, every single special set accessory. I keep it no matter what. I never sell it. And then in Spider, up until recently, I only keep mythical and legendary 6-star. I sell the rest of it.
Ooh.
But
Ooh.
I think I've had this account since like 2020. So
you
know, you have to take advice like that with a grain of salt. Like John Bull said, you know,
hey, I'm gonna take it to the bank.
Yeah, no, you gotta take it. Like if you're early, you gotta keep everything you can get. You're gonna be rocking common gear on some champions at some point. So
that's legit.
All right, I think we got time for one each. So make it your best one.
Oh, geez, the pressure point here is crazy. The pressure is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna shout out a set then. I'm gonna take the easy way out right now. Sue me.
All right.
Pull up your gear. Find that set that goes BOLSTER. For the dyslexic among us, that would be bolster. Typically, that would be bolster. I'm shouting out bolster right now because bolster is a budget version of regen, and in fact, a very viable one if you're doing wave-based content, like legitimately viable on wave-based content. Yeah, it's not as good if you're doing like some long boss fight, whatever. But you're getting a massive, it's 30% shield, I think. I can kind of read the screen. 30% shield across all allies. And you're getting 10% heal a turn. And if you pair this with the mortal, you're going to get 13% heal a turn. And you're getting a huge shield. So my shout out is the bolster because I've started throwing it on champs. In fact, I have even seen Chronum Sanddevil 24 in high-end bolster gear with the mortal. I can't make the gear checks, but it's possible.
Here, you want another hot tip that's similar to this?
Go hit me.
Well, all right. Guardian, dude.
Okay.
This set, because it basically will take any tanky champion and give it ally protection for 10%. And it's absolutely huge. And it heals you by 10% every single time. So my Solely Voids, check out a whole Solely Voids playlist. But my Solely Voids has many champions built in Guardian because it just gives you extra protection. It heals them up. It's in that same vein where it can be really, really, really powerful.
It's sick. I have a little bit of Guardian, but not great.
Yeah, I go if I'm not farming Dark Fae and Doom Tower, I'm farming Guardian off the Griffin 9 times out of 10. Okay, here's my last one. Understand the fundamental difference between a PvP and a PvE build. And here's what I mean. In a PvP build, so player versus player, that's somebody like my Siffy. There is literally no such thing as too fast or too tanky or too much resistance. And in the grand scheme of things, there's people out there that are probably 100 speed faster than this, if you know what I mean. But what I'm trying to say is when you're in PvP, you identify your 2 or 3 stat areas, and then you push that to the max. There's no such thing as too high. Where in PvE, with the exception of maybe speed, but like this is a pretty high-end build for a PvE, I guess, also, so maybe this is a bad example. But a champion like this, like once you get them to a certain speed, they're probably good enough, and then you can start looking to be more general or broad in other areas. Like, I want her to have 300 accuracy. I could crank this accuracy if I wanted to, play her in live arena, I could
Right.
get this to 6 to 800, but I use her mostly in Fire Knight and Clan Boss. So this 389 is more than enough. So it's okay for me to start finding stats elsewhere in other areas just to make her more generally useful. And that's a pretty broad thing, but that's kind of the difference
that.
where, yeah, that's how I at least perceive building each of these. And obviously this is a mythical, but so her stats are going to be pretty solid to begin
she's
with.
looking good. She's looking good right now.
Yeah. But, you know, that's just the difference. I mean, speed, you can almost always try to push faster, but like I said, there's a point where you're like, okay, it's fast enough. You know, let's find something else for her to be more tanky, you know, for example. So here, you know, we have like actual defensive percentage to keep her alive because she's in PvE, where somebody like my Odin, you know, he's in Stone Skin. I guess this is a bad example. At one point, he had an accuracy chest piece on him.
Oh, right.
And you don't care if he's you don't care if he is slightly more squishy, because all you care is that he's fast enough to get out his stun ability. So,
real quick before you go, John,
All
I
right.
wonder if you would show us all what your favorite gearing is. Like, what is the champ with your? It could be like your must tie in, but like, what is your champ that you have geared that's most favorite, if it exists?
That's a great question. I really like my Siphi. She's pretty, but mostly because of the 6. She cuts in a lot because of her blessing, but ultimately I think probably is just my White King. Just because everything's like epic, legendary, or a mythical piece. And he is. Oops. I always click over here. They switch it. These two used to be flipped around. I don't know if you knew this. A long time ago, abbreviations used to be here in total stats, so I'd always click here, and I've gotten that habit. But I've got him over 210 speed with 333 crit damage and over 100,000 HP. Like, and you have to fight through his Stone Skin. You know, I just love this build.
Yeah, and it's instant. Wow, right? Because it was. It's crazy.
Yeah, here is what I'm talking about. Look, he's got an attack percent or an attack ring. When I was talking about sometimes stats over sets don't matter. Here's a great example. He's got attack percent ring, but I need that Stone Skin. I just need it. I wonder if I got an HP one.
I do it for the culture, you know, without knowing. I did that for the culture.
Yeah. I wonder if this is. It's actually less HP to have an HP percent ring. Isn't that crazy?
That is actually.
Anyway.
Great.
Yeah. All right. That's kind of it.
Well, thanks for sharing. Appreciate it.
Yeah, totally. Another shout out to Casual Samuel. Check out his channel, like his videos, and subscribe to him. Otherwise, all right, folks, thanks for stopping in. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you on the other side.